appreciate being able to sit.
True.
Right.
That is the nicest thing.
Okay.
And you want us to look at you, not the camera?
Yes, just kind of like we're having a conversation. All
Just like Diane Sawyer. I got it.
Exactly. There you go.
Got it.
So first
Okay.
of all, if I could ask you guys to say and spell your names for us.
Sure. Okay, I'm Anna, A-N-N-A, Liese, L-I-E-S-E.
Okay.
And I'm Jon McCraw, J-O-N-M-C-C-R-A-W.
All right. So just to go ahead and ask, what do you guys think is maybe your top 5 that you guys are looking forward to for the legislative session this upcoming year?
Upcoming year.
There's lots
Go
of
ahead.
exciting things going on.
Well, again, funding for projects that we've been working on here. Our Tidelands funds, we hope to see that come through. It's been kind of out for the last couple of years for everybody. Also, our Go Mesa project that we put in for, which is a drainage project to help improve the drainage systems throughout Diamondhead. So that's a big one that we're working on. We applied for a Gulf Coast Restoration Fund project, but right now we didn't get recommended to the state legislature, but legislation. But we'll see if that doesn't happen. So we'll hope for something to affect us on that.
And one thing we're proud of is we don't have any outstanding projects, right?
All but one.
I mean,
we have a Gulf Coast Restoration. Gulf Coast Restoration Fund. We starting on phase 3. We have all the land acquired, and we're starting the bidding process probably first of this year or first of next year.
Yeah, because it's common for people to get grants and be given money, and then time goes by, and for one reason or another, and it just doesn't happen. So we're really proud of the fact that we've made good use of the generous
Very, very good use of
the generous grants that we've been awarded.
We received over $4 million from ARPA and for the federal government, and then also from the state. And we were able to complete all those projects this year in about a 12 to 15 month process, and wonderful to get those done. It provided a lot of drainage improvements to the city and to the residents included.
Yeah.
So then to ask about the restoration project, so I know you said you had land plotted out and you guys were in phase 3. So what exactly is the project? Is it like clearing out trees? Or are you guys building something new with the funds?
Yes, you like to talk about it, go ahead.
Well, no, go ahead. Yeah.
Phase 3 is actually to continue a connection of our roadway. So we have, we just built a new road connecting Noma Drive to Park 10. And so that it's a beautiful new road, sidewalks, landscaping on it to help improve, open up that actual property. So now we're looking at businesses and builders to come and build on that road, which they're talking to us continuously. I actually have another meeting scheduled for Friday to have some more discussions about that.
So,
but this is a connection to continue that road on. To connect out to our main road of Jack's Drive. So we're making that full connection there so that it'll open up that property and be able to expand businesses and on it.
and so Diamondhead's been around for over 50 years, but we didn't incorporate until 2012. And so we're, kind of one of the youngest cities in the state, and we haven't really had a downtown. We've had growth, and we've had some commercial things come in, but we haven't had a defined downtown, and that's what this is. It is just we had a comprehensive plan. It is well thought out. It's perfect planning, sidewalks, brick pavers, underground wiring, street lights. It's really pretty, and so this new development that will come will kind of all be there, and so we are excited to see this come to fruition, but it's going to be great.
Oh yes, we're waiting for the buildings to come out of the ground, and we feel like it'll be a great, as she's saying, a good downtown feel to the overall city of Diamondhead.
We're going to create one.
There you go.
It was one of those things that kind of was overlooked by the planners when they did this city. They platted out for the streets and where the houses were all going to be built, but just said, and they'll be commercial.
So we were kind of like a great big subdivision that became a city. And actually, I don't know if we're the biggest city in Hancock County, and so I think surpassed their expectations when
Yes.
they started this in the
In the
late
early 70s.
and
Yeah.
yeah, and so they did a great job planning Diamondhead, but it was just not ever designed to be a city, and so we're kind of working hard to make that happen
Yeah,
now.
Exactly. Trying to fix those.
Gotcha. Okay, so I got two questions.
Mm-hmm.
So first of all, excuse me, you guys were talking about how big of a population you guys have here
Mm-hmm.
in Hancock County. Have you guys been experiencing a lot of population growth over the past year? So I know some, like Biloxi, Long Beach has experienced a lot of growth. Have you guys been kind of feeling the same?
Most definitely. I think we have the growth every year, but we had 2 subdivisions get started last year and a half, and both have completely filled out. The houses have all been built, and residents are in, I believe, every one of them, but maybe one.
There's
So people are moving here.
a big appetite for new construction, and we are in a great spot because we are really the first town in Mississippi that's close to Stennis Space Center. So, that's a huge employer, and so those people can conceivably go to Slidell, or somewhere else in Louisiana, or come here, or Bay St. Louis, wherever, and a lot of them have really figured out that Diamondhead is a great place to live. But I think we could certainly use even more housing. So I think we would have grown even more if we'd had more places to put people. There's really almost been a shortage, I think.
Right.
So yeah,
Well, then, go ahead, sorry.
No, I was gonna say, so the market's really good here.
Okay. Well, since to kind of add that into the other question that I had, so with the building of the downtown area, have you guys asked the state legislature for any kind of funding for that? Have you guys applied for any grants just to kind of push that along?
Certainly. The Gulf Coast Restoration Funds, that comes through the legislature. We have applied for that and asked for that. We work with MDOT to try to develop or receive grants through them to help build these roads and put in this infrastructure. So, yes, we try to shake every leaf and turn over every bush.
And
I
our
guess.
state delegation's been very helpful, and they really go to bat for us, and I think do the best they can
Yes.
to help take care of things down here.
Right, yeah. A couple of years ago, they gave us state aid money, which was great to be able to receive that. That just didn't happen last year, but we've discussed that already, starting for this year's session, and they're discussing it and trying to hope it will come up and be able to do it again this year.
Okay, awesome. Well, then to kind of stay in the topic of funding, I know you said there was almost like a shortage of housing. To kind of build onto more, would you guys possibly be asking the state for any kind of funding to build more houses, or are you guys kind of okay with funding on those terms?
I would say we're okay on those terms. Usually developers do that, and what she's saying, we actually we have a council meeting tonight, and we're putting a final plat for approval, which will open up 40 more lots for people to build houses on. And as I've talked to the developer, probably 5 to 7 of those are already sold and ready to be built as soon as this gets approved, and the rest probably won't be very far behind. The phase 2 and 3 of another development site is close to being final plat approved as well, and that would bring another 45 to 70 homes coming in there as well. So it's the land's kind of running out, but it's there right now, and they're getting it built and getting it developed.
And then we're really focused on smart growth too. So we're not just looking for development for the sake of development. We want quality
Definitely.
development, and we just care deeply about where we go from here. We don't get it right moving forward. It's blank slate right now, and we've got a great opportunity to really make things nice.
Okay, well, that's good. So I want to ask about going from the kind of the state perspective to more of the community perspective. I'm not sure. I know, like in Hattiesburg and kind of the local areas, there's a lot of talk on Facebook and things like that, and that's usually how the community communicates with the city council, things like that. For you guys, is that kind of the same, a little bit different?
Well, we don't we try to make a point to not communicate that way, just because it's very difficult to have a conversation with somebody. So I think what most of us typically do is if people have concerns, we usually reach out privately and say, hey, I'm the mayor, I saw you had a concern, here's my phone number, I'd love to talk to you. And so we kind of communicate that way. But it is a good tool for kind of keeping our finger on the pulse of what the community is concerned about or happy about or mostly not happy about.
Right.
But it's definitely, a valuable tool for kind of knowing, just a snapshot of what people are thinking, but you just can't get into a back and forth on social media. It's just not good.
Okay. So in saying that, I was going to kind of ask and see, just from this year, have there been any, I guess, a trend of any kind of concerns from the community or anything that you guys have been wanting to work on, or maybe, planning to work on, or just any concerns in general?
Well, one thing that I know we've addressed, I think successfully so far, is because we have kind of made a concerted effort not to engage on social media. I mean, we post things, but just, to get into the back and forth. We've started a city newsletter that goes out once a month, that updates on all the city projects, upcoming events, things that happened. And I think that's been really great. So I think we just put out our third issue.
Yeah, it was our
Yesterday?
third issue. Yes, yesterday.
Hot off the internet instead of the press. Yeah.
It was very well received.
I can forward it to you.
Not getting a lot of feedback now, but I think people appreciate.
But it's
fact that the
available and
information's there,
it's on our
and that's what they
website.
want.
Yeah. So we're making a concerted effort to communicate well, and I think that was one concern, and I think we're doing better.
We're doing our best.
I think we are. But I think people appreciate progress, but the daily disruption that it provides can be difficult. So I don't know if you saw roundabouts when you came in. Did you come in that way? Okay, so those were under construction for how long? 18 months?
Probably
about 18 months. And so during that time, each of the ramps was closed for a few weeks. So if you had to go that direction, you had to go to another exit and all the way. So people were very concerned, rightfully so, about all of that. But I think, we've kind of...
Yeah, for the most part, they were
That's wrapping up.
understandable of it. They knew
Yeah.
what was happening and why it was happening, and they were
And people are like,
willing.
it's going to be worth it one day. And,
Yeah.
and it is. And we're not even quite finished. We still have to landscape and, but it's, I think a lot of those day-to-day, concerns are kind of wrapping up. I think we're kind of in a peaceful period.
Yeah, I would say so, definitely.
I gotcha.
As
Well,
peaceful as social media can be. Yes.
Right. I gotcha. Well, on the topic of roads, I know this has kind of been a trend with a lot of the other mayors that we've interviewed. Just kind of with the population growing and needing more roads or bigger roads or kind of repaving. Have you guys had any plans to do anything like that, or have you already been doing, aside from the roundabouts?
Right. We have actually the main road west of Aloha, east of Aloha, that goes to our commercial district area. We're working with MDOT to get those two redone, repaved, and cleaned up so that get a sidewalk built on them so that people can walk on them safely as well. You do see people out there walking from spot to spot, and it's kind of dangerous in some ways what they're having to do. So we're working to get that. I just finished up a traffic study to see about some potential adding connectors from one road to another, so that traffic doesn't all have to funnel through one area. Some can split off and go to in a different way to get home instead of having to go through that same one.
And we did just finish a big paving project.
Right.
We paved we have kind of a loop that goes through the whole city, 8 miles, I think.
Almost 8 miles.
It's about an 8-mile loop. And we added a multimodal lane, a protected multimodal lane, and it's, as I understand, it's the largest one in the whole state. So you've got a place to bike or rollerblade or walk or whatever you want to do, but it's
Somewhat safely.
it's safer than the normal
Safer
setup.
than being on the road.
Safer than being on the road. But it's the biggest one in the whole state, so we're very proud of that. But that whole loop is freshly paved.
Yes.
So we're,
Right, and then we finished up we do minor paving every year. And
Paving's
we just
ongoing.
finished that. Yeah, it's an ongoing thing. I'm actually, we have a bid out for 2026's paving right now, so
it's
we're getting ready to work
it's like
on that.
laundry, it never ends, you
Yeah,
know?
It really
Mhm.
is. I gotcha. Well, to kind of go over, to kind of swap over topics, we've been talking with a lot of other officials about taxes for the year, specifically the internet or the use tax.
Mhm.
I just wanted to see, how has that impacted you guys, if at all? I've heard a lot of people say it's been really good. Some of them say it's kind of eh.
Well, I think
Well, it's a great, in my opinion, a great source of revenue for us that we weren't getting at all. So
And
I have
because-
to give it that.
absolutely, and
benefit.
because we're limited, you
Right.
have to use it on infrastructure.
Right.
So we are using it to pay for that paving. So it worked out
Right,
well for us. I mean, y'all, our,
right. We borrowed money against it, and then
We
we
did
pay
a-
it back
a
every
bond,
year using that revenue that
and
comes in. So.
yeah, and it's worked out well for us, but the limitations can be daunting, I guess, if you don't have a big project like
Right.
that.
Yeah.
But it's been okay for us.
Okay. Well, I guess, really quick, do y'all have any questions as of right now?
I kind of did have a question.
Yeah.
We've talked to a couple different mayors, and some of the points, or they've shared some of their philosophies with what kind of changes they want to make. Particularly one said that he understood that the city was growing, and to match that growth came expectations. So when he was making changes, he wanted to focus on visual changes so everybody can see them. What is y'all's philosophy in terms of the future outlook of the city?
I'll let you have that.
Well, I think that, as we said, we're at a juncture where we're developing a downtown. And so I have a huge focus on making that visually pleasing, because I think development, I think, is about momentum. You get somebody to come and develop something, and if it's a quality project, it's the kind of development we want, and it looks good, we've got to raise the bar. These things, we can't just let anything come in and say, oh, thank you for coming to build whatever. We have to raise our standards. And, the nicer it looks, the more other people will want to come. Everybody wants to live somewhere, work somewhere that is, attractive. And I know that sounds superficial, but it really does, I think, spur development. And it's, I don't know if you've ever moved anywhere where, like after Katrina, for instance, we were a mess on the whole coast for years. And during that time, my children and I moved to Madison, which, is a little bit different than the coast. And my third grade daughter looked at me and said, she couldn't find the words, but she goes, Mom, everything up here is it's just so clean. It's so nice. And she meant put together, but what happens when you go into a community where it has its act together, and it looks good, and your stress level just goes, it's like, oh, I can just enjoy being here. I don't have, it affects everything. But I think the better job that we do it'll affect lots of things. So and that's everything from signage to architectural review, lots of things. Not that we're going to be difficult and try to give developers a hard time at all, but we have this beautiful new blank slate, and we just have to make sure that what we put there fits with our vision. You have anything you want to add?
Well, as Anna said, the only thing I want to add, we several years ago, we actually did a comprehensive plan for the entire city and how we wanted the future of the city to look. And so we call it our Envision 2040 plan. So and by 2040, what do we want to see in place? So that's what I've been focused on, and the council as well, is to try to make sure what we envisioned is happening. So we're working that plan, trying to get those items as they were. We had tons of input from the community and residents throughout to say this is what we want. So now that we know what everybody wants, that's what we're trying to focus on. And as Anna said earlier, it's the smart growth. We're trying to do this in a smart way instead of just allowing everybody to come in and just slap up something and then go, oh, that really didn't work, and then go back and go, well, how do we fix that? Well, fixing is a lot harder than when
It's-
you can just build it properly the first time.
Absolutely, and you know, I'm sure you've noticed when you go into older cities and older towns, they're having to go back and revitalize, right? Everybody's trying to revitalize their downtowns. Well, we're so lucky because we get to start from scratch, but we you know, everybody's kind of turned the page and realized, oh, we like a walkable downtown. We like having corner stores and local, you know, that's what we want. We want walkable, we want mixed use, we want people to live there, you know, and what I mean by that is, you know, maybe retail or restaurants or something on the bottom, maybe a condo on top, you know, but so that people can live in those areas. And I don't know if you're familiar with form-based zoning, but that's what we're going to do, and that means that the buildings that are built are not going to be like specific to a certain business. So for instance, like if you ever see a Pizza Hut that is something else, you can look at that and you know it was a Pizza Hut, right? With form-based zoning, we could say, Pizza Hut, we'd love to have you, but you got to build something that could be something else one day, you know? So that way, as things evolve, you're not stuck with buildings that are so specific to certain businesses. And so we're really trying to think long range and just be good planners. But we want a walkable, artsy, fun, adorable downtown, and I think we're gonna get it.
Yeah, we can try.
I actually did have one more question.
Sure.
We were talking to a mayor who was talking about how they were building a new walkway that was going to connect two different cities.
Mm-hmm.
I was wondering, since y'all are a relatively new city, the blank slate and all that, if you were partnering with the cities around you to create any kind of projects like that.
We really haven't, just mostly because there's not really a city next to us. You know, Bay St. Louis and Waveland are all on the other side of the bay, and past Christian and Long Beach are same thing. They're down by the beach and not necessarily up as far as we are. So we're a little bit isolated up here, which is okay. I don't have a problem with that. But if and when we can get closer, we kind of partnered a lot with Hancock County, trying to get them, you know, whatever projects they're doing, to try to work with them to make sure that we're working together and achieving the same goals that we're all looking forward to.
Yeah, because this buffer around us is really, it might say past Christian, but it's really county.
Yeah.
And so we don't actually share a border with any other city. But if we did, we would love to partner with them. We love cooperation.
That was good.
Yeah, that's all I have.
You have anything, Nick?
Nope.
Okay. Well, then I'll have my last two for
Mm-hmm.
you. Going into the state legislative session,
Mhm.
just anything that you can think of. What is your biggest concern, and what are you most excited for? I know that's broad.
That is very broad.
I mean, I think it's always a concern to see how the funding comes out. You know, and last year they really didn't fund. They couldn't. They cut, and they needed to. I understand why they did, but you don't ever know until the session plays out. And so I think that's always a concern.
Right.
And I'm excited to see how they work together this year and what that
Right.
might mean for us.
Right, and I guess my biggest thing, and you know, we've talked about this already before, and you spoke to Gulfport's new mayor. He probably talked about it. Is the use tax that you mentioned, the infrastructure tax, and recalculate or changing that so that the calculation is the same as sales tax. Cities don't get the same amount based on that, even though it's the same thing. You're buying something, you bought it at a store, you bought it off the internet. The sales tax calculation should be the same. Instead, it's not, and we get shorted a lot as far as municipalities go on that. But I know he's going to focus on that in the next legislative session, and so I'm excited to see if anything
Absolutely,
happens there.
because the consumer doesn't know.
Yeah.
We pay 7% no matter what. You know, so if you buy something on Amazon, your sales tax is tacked on. You don't think about how that gets divvied up, but it's not the same as if you were shopping at a brick and mortar store versus the internet. But you know, it hasn't been that long since we didn't collect any
We didn't
sales
get
tax.
any, so it's nice that we get what we get.
Yeah, I mean, Mississippi didn't. I don't know if y'all remember that, but anything you bought online Amazon, no sales tax. And finally, at least they're collecting it. So we're glad for that, but it would be great if they could
Yeah,
work on that.
that's it.
Well, I guess, is there anything that I haven't asked you guys that you think would be worth mentioning, or that you want to mention?
No, I don't think so. I talked about all my projects already.
Yeah,
I'm
just,
happy. Anything you want to talk
no,
about?
I think we hit all the highlights. But I mean,
That's it.
we've got good things going on, and we're excited
That's it.
to see. And actually, when you leave, if you take a right out here, like away probably from the way you came in, go until you'll hit a circle and go like 3/4 of the way around, and it'll take you back out to the front. But that's the new area. You'll notice you'll turn a corner, and it's going to be this new street
street lights
and new
there, you'll
pretty
see it.
street lights, and you'll see what we're talking about. And down at the end of that, we just finished a new public boat launch, and there is a really nice pier right now, but we're about to add 1,800 linear feet to it. It's going to curve all the way around and have like a multi-story observation deck, and people can go way out into the marsh and the river, and that's
Right.
exciting.
Yeah, be able to access people without boats like myself. Be able to access parts of this city and areas that they've never seen before.
And-
because it's just not
and there are
something they
already
get access to.
People that go there and take their kids fishing on the pier that's there, but it's going to be even better. So, I think we have a lot of really wonderful natural resources, like the river and the marsh. And we have a kayak festival that we do in the fall, and kayak through the marsh. And I think we've got a lot to be grateful for.
That's it.
All right. Well, I think that's about everything. I think we covered everything that we needed to cover.